Good boy. Mm. Okay. You want belly rubs. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Paul. I'm Harlso's dad, and welcome to the first daily live show that we're doing this week. The aim of these shows is to try to entertain you a little bit while you're staying safe at home. And to do this, we are going to go live with some of our favourite Instagram accounts. Today, we're going to be talking to Matt Nelson, who is the creator of WeRateDogs. It's a very popular site. He has over 8 million followers on Twitter. Okay, Harlso, can we treat? Another 1.5 million followers on Instagram. And Harlso was lucky enough to actually be featured by Matt's account back in 2017. He got a 13 out of 10. Matt rates a different dog every day. It's a really fun account. So we're big fans of Matt. I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and we'll see if Matt's available.
Hello.
Hi Matt, how are you?
How's it going?
Yeah, good. So you've got, is that Zoey or Sizzle? I know you've got two dogs.
This is Zoey.
Okay, I
And
think
see,
Harlso.
she has her Queen Zoey blanket.
Oh, that is lovely.
Yeah, it's great. She's very spoiled.
Well, how's things with you? How's it going in quarantine?
Give me 1 second. It's not bad, actually. I was in LA and I figured that was going to get scary pretty quickly. So I flew back as soon as, like the day before California shut down. I flew back to West Virginia, which is where my family is and where Zoey and Sizzle are. So that's where I've been hanging out since.
I think it's probably better to be with family at this time, isn't it? If you can be, because
Yeah.
I suppose it's so uncertain how long this is going to go on for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you said, so my bad, I missed your introduction. Your name is Paul, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm Paul. So I'm sort of like the guy that's always putting stuff on this little guy's head.
Amazing. It's nice to finally meet you, Harlso and Paul.
Yeah, we almost met a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember. We were taking a trip to Scotland in Edinburgh, and I think I
Oh
noticed
yeah,
that
and
you
I happened to be in Glasgow, I think.
Yeah. I think you'd left Edinburgh like earlier that
Wow.
year. Yeah, so we finally meet.
Yeah. Okay, Zoe's going over here now.
Yeah. So how and when did you decide to start rating dogs, Matt? How did that all start?
So I was using Twitter just as like a creative outlet as a junior and senior in high school. And then I quickly realized how much the internet loves dogs, like just as much as I did. So I decided to start a new account based all around dogs. And the rating aspect of it was kind of like the last thing. Like I personally love when there's like a numerical consistency to things. So so I figured that would be something that would give some longevity to the account. And yeah, it worked. So, and it's just been going strong ever since.
Bear with me, Matt, a second.
No worries.
We've had a loud bang, and
It's okay, Harlso. You're doing great.
in typical Dachshund fashion, he's almost choking on his treat. He's barking so hard.
The opposite. The opposite of Zoey.
Zoe's so chill, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't. I mean, it's people want so much from her Instagram account, but I keep like she doesn't do anything. Like every picture is just her asleep. So we have to try really, really hard to get like content on her account.
part of me is really glad Harlso is being so loud right now because I get so many messages from people saying Harlso looks like he's like so chill. He's not like the ordinary dachshund,
Yeah.
because he's so good at his trick.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think the first couple of minutes has just proved that he's as noisy as the rest of them can be. Yeah, so thanks for the introduction to dog rates. What makes a good rating in a dog? What makes a good rating? So, like, how do you decide who deserves a top prize?
Well, they all do, which is kind of one of the cornerstones of the account that all dogs get above a 10 out of 10, and usually it's like a 13 or 14.
Yeah,
So we're still sent between like 800 and 1,000 submissions a day on Twitter and Instagram and email, and people find every way possible to show us their dogs. So I actually have someone that's been working with me for 4 years now that condenses them from that many to like 30 or 40 a day, and then I go through those, and then yeah, usually there's one or two posts a day. But I love the pictures that are easy to tell a story with.
yeah.
Like where it's like from the same photo set, but the dog has like a different expression, or it's in a slightly different scenario, so that I can create a narrative around it. That's always really fun. And again, I started it just as a creative outlet, and so anytime I can go back to that with pictures is really fun. Sometimes the picture or video is just so good that I just have to not screw up the post with my caption. Like sometimes I just have to like make it very kind of neutral and boring so that all the focus can be on how amazing the actual media is. But yeah, it's fun.
I think your captions are amazing,
Smart.
Matt, to be honest. And
Oh, thank you.
I think that's what first drew me to your account. I can't remember the first dog rates I seen, but I can remember it immediately made me laugh. Um, and I think that's the secret to how your account grows so quickly. Would you agree, or what is the secret?
Yeah, I think that Twitter wasn't used to like there being effort in the caption over cute animals. Like cute animal accounts have been a thing forever, but the captions were always like laughing emojis or like in all caps, like "oh, this is so cute." Like no one had really put effort into utilizing all 140 characters, which is what I did because I came from like a joke writing background. Like I
Okay.
knew the importance of each character that Twitter gave you. Um, so yeah, I think that other than getting like ridiculously lucky, I think that played a part in its initial growth.
And what's the highest rating, Matt? What is the highest?
There
I
have
know there's a
been
few dogs.
Yeah, there have been 15 out of 10s. So again, it started like, and this is embarrassing to say, but it started as very legitimate ratings. Like they were, I think the first dog was like an 8 out of 10, but with inflation, now it's like a 13 out of 10. But the first time I posted a dog over 10 out of 10, people were like, this is how it has to be from now on. And I just kept that trend going. So now we're at 15 out of 10 is like, whenever there's a 15 out of 10, like the world stops and everyone pays attention. So I'm glad that the scale can be arbitrary and everyone can accept that they're all amazing dogs, but then there's that one rating that is like, this is a hero dog. I think it's a good way to keep the account fresh.
What's it going to take to get a 16?
I have based on what the 15 out of 10s are, I have no idea. Like even early on, there are some 14s, like some in memoriam posts were 14 out of 10 before I did the first 15 out of 10. And looking back, they could have been 15 out of 10. So I don't know. Like we've hit some of the massive dog stories and given them 15 out of 10. So I honestly have no idea what it's going to take. But it'll be crazy for sure.
And what rating is Zoe? Has Zoe ever been rated?
Yeah, so I made the account in November of 2015 and I was still at school. So winter break was about to happen. So I came home and the account was like just a few weeks old. So I immediately put Zoe on the account and I was like, this is my dog. I think by then I was already like rating dogs way higher than 10. So like, she's a 14 out of 10, absolutely no bias. And people thought that was funny. And then I was able to do like a formal introduction with Sizzle. Like the day we adopted her from the Golden Ratio, I was able to make like a post like with 4 pictures from that journey and introduce her to the whole audience.
Okay.
So that was really fun. And so yeah, both of my dogs have been on the account.
What age are Sizzle and Zoey now?
Zoey is 5, and yep, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hi,
that's
Zoey.
you. She's like, "What are you doing?" And then Sizzle is between 6, probably like 8 to 10. We're not really sure. No one really knows.
Okay.
Oh, did I say Zoey? Zoey's 6 as well. Sorry, Zoey's
Oh,
6 and Sizzle is 6 to 10. Like we really don't know. We know she's probably older than Zoey, but not by
not
too
much.
much.
Harlso's also 6. It was his 6th birthday there back in January, so they're the same age.
Oh, look at you. You're the same age. Does that excite you, Zoey? No, nothing excites me.
Does Zoey do any tricks? Does she know any tricks, or have you ever tried?
I was thinking about it when you said that Harlso probably wouldn't be balancing anything. I was like, ooh, maybe, but no, there's no way. Zoey barely knows sit. She's kind of she owns all of us, so like we can't tell her anything. Like she knows that she's still going to be treated like a queen all the time. So there's no point in learning anything or obeying anything we tell her to do.
That's what I find so funny about this little guy too, is that people think that because he can do this one trick really well, that he must know lots of tricks, and he doesn't. This is really it. That's his one trick, and he just does it really well.
That's amazing.
So it's pretty fun.
You picked a good one, Harlso. That's a good trick to have.
Yeah.
So actually, I kind of want to know how did you find out that he could do that?
Okay, so at the time, Harlso was about 2 years old, and whenever he's got lots of energy, so we've been out for a little walk today, and for the followers on our page, they'll know that Harlso had surgery back in January, for IVDD. So he's a little he tires a bit quicker now than he used to, but back when he was 2, you could not tire him out. And whenever we were playing fetch, you would have to throw the ball about 1,000 times. And I got a little tired of throwing the ball, and I think I'd seen like another animal balancing something on the internet that day. And I thought, I'll try it and see if Harlso can do it. He could do it the first time. And I called Jennifer. Jennifer's Harlso's mum. She was upstairs at the time. She came down, and he was still balancing this toy on his head. And he took a photograph. Now, we didn't think, we never thought about social media or anything then. And a couple of weeks later, it was Valentine's Day. So I balanced a rose on his head. And then Jennifer started uploading photos onto Instagram. And yeah, within a couple of months, his profile started to grow. So
that's so cool.
And I think that's the weird thing about the internet, is you never know what's just going to like catch people's attention.
Oh, it's all an accident, all of it.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's possible to mean to do it.
Yeah,
anybody I speak to says, this was an accident. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah, like I think that's a very common story for it to be an accident. Me being like in the social media spotlight with my accounts for a while now, like I can plan virality in some ways just because I know exactly what people want. Like we did a few things a while ago were like literally staged and went viral perfectly just because we knew what worked on that platform. But I think it loses a lot of like that genuine aspect when that happens. Like it's still effective, but if all of your content is like that, then you're not really providing anything. When it's the true valuable stuff, usually happy accidents. So yeah,
it's great that you've got an idea about what will perfectly work though, because I don't. I think if I plan something and I think, oh, this video is going to be great, it's going to take off, normally that one flops, and the one that I just like do in 5 minutes is the one which gets shared thousands of times or gets a lot of attention. But I think that just I think there's more fun in that. I think whenever it's just spur of the moment, and you don't like put a lot of pressure on yourself, to come up with a good idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been kind of a challenge for me in the content like development process, especially the writing, because I can't schedule anything. Like if I write a tweet ahead of time and schedule it, or if I write like a bunch of them, I'll go back and I won't like it anymore. Like I'll be like, "Oh, this could have been better. I don't like how I did this." So it like the only reason there's content on any of my accounts is because I do it in the spur of the moment, like half an hour before I need content is when I write it, because it doesn't give me enough time to second guess it, which as someone who create, like, I'm sure that's relatable to people that post on the
Yeah.
internet, because there's so much pressure and it's part of the fun. Like initially I got addicted to Twitter because it felt like stand-up comedy, but for the whole world. Like you could like, I don't know, the thrill of it was in the fact that you would immediately know whether your joke hit or missed. And
Yeah.
now I'm doing that on such a large scale, so there is so much pressure. So again, like I just have to do like just writing it spur of the moment and posting it, and like not thinking about it too much is the only way content gets out there for us now. Especially with dog feelings, it's like I have to be 100% certain that account like that. Oh, whoops, sorry, my phone.
Oh,
One's gonna die,
you're
but
okay.
I
You're
think we're
good.
good. I have to be like 100% certain that post is gonna resonate, or like I don't know. With that account, it's a little bit different, but that's just the weird pressures associated with having a presence online, I guess.
And my girlfriend wanted me to mention, or my fiance, sorry, I know some people pull me up on that because Marco balanced the engagement ring on his head, so everyone knows about that. But she wanted me to let you know that she buys the Dog Rates calendar every year, and
Oh my
today there's a
goodness.
dachshund. Today is a dachshund called
Roswell.
Roswell.
Yep.
She
That's
buys that
wonderful.
before she even gets Harlso's calendar, she has a Dog Rates calendar. So
That's great. Harlso was in the 2019 one, right?
yeah, he was. I think he was in your. I think that was your first calendar, was it, or
Yep.
first daily calendar? Yeah,
That was the
and
first one.
he also made the board game too, I believe,
Yep. Yep.
which is
And
pretty
those
cool.
are those are always fun because like it's like getting posted on the account is really cool, but that like having a physical thing, like I don't know, it's definitely there's definitely a cool aspect to being in those physical products as well, because it's like the internet, it kind of feels like it's there forever, but when it's like something you can look at and hold, it's even cooler.
What's been your most like memorable thing to have happened since you've had the account?
Oh, that's tricky. There's been so many cool things. Like just in the last like few weeks, we did on National Puppy Day. Arnold Schwarzenegger responded, like he sent us his donkey, I think, and that was really cool. Ryan Reynolds followed Dog Feelings not too long ago.
Oh, I mean,
A lot of celebrity interactions. I just have to be like, oh my god, this just happened. Like it never becomes numb to me. Like I still like run around the house screaming when something cool like that happens. I don't think it'll ever get old. But in terms of just like things that have happened from the account, like all of the GoFundMe stories that we're able to share, and like the fact that the audience is so ready to help people is really
that
cool
stuff
to be
is
a part of.
crazy impressive, by the way, because
Thank
literally
you.
every week something gets fully funded within like sometimes minutes.
Yeah, it's wild. Last week we passed over the $1 million threshold.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
it's
is.
it's
You'll be getting like
absurd.
a Medal of Honor or something for that.
I did a little featured project with GoFundMe where they kind of just featured the account in a way and how awesome that community is. But I think we're going to try to get them to fund like a video series where we go talk to some of those families, because that seems to be something that's really desired from a lot of people. So because with the GoFundMe's, like it's great, and people get really attached to some of those stories, but I don't have the content bandwidth to be able to like update everyone on all of those
Yeah,
dogs. So it ends up being like, unless you donate and you're getting the email updates from the owner that's posting about the campaign, you don't really know what happened to that dog.
yeah,
So I mean, everyone assumes that because the money was raised, everything's fine and good. But we'd love a way that a little bit easier of a way to tell everyone like, hey, you guys actually saved this dog. Like, you don't just have to look at like the goal reached, like here's the dog now, they're doing great, here's a video. So we're hoping that GoFundMe can help us out with that and help us make some really cool things that kind of validate the fundraising process.
I'm sure that the guys that you've helped, like regard you and your followers like a hero, because I know whenever Harlso got hurt there with the IVDD a few months back, like Harlso was insured, so we didn't have to worry about the financial aspect of it, but we did think about like, you know, this is already really stressful. You know, imagine having the added stress of trying to find the money. You know, so it's a really cool thing. It's really important, I think.
Yeah, and my community has like recognized that. Like they've the last three GoFundMes since the whole pandemic started, we've like doubled the goal each time. Like people have recognized that yes, the people are asking for an amount for surgery, but or whatever the dog needs, but they're also struggling due to the current climate and the current economy. So like there was a goal for, I think it was IVDD. Like it was something, first of all, that's very common. Like it's probably second to like ACL tears that we receive GoFundMes for. But yeah, we had a $2,000 goal and we raised $15,000 for it. Like just because they mentioned in one sentence of that campaign that they like needed something else, or I think in this case it was like a single mom with kids as well. So people were like, they didn't just see that the dog needed help, but they read the GoFundMe and digested the fact that they probably need more than they're asking for.
Wow.
And raised so much more than they needed. So again, just crazy to be a part of a community that cares that much. Like many people with platforms. And first of all, I saw your Australia Wildlife Fund, which is really cool to see that how I think it's just, if you're a dog lover and you have an account that with an audience, like that audience resonates with all like general welfare, like they want to help in any way possible for really any cause. And it was really cool to like be able to harness that with GoFundMe.
That's what the Australian Wildlife Fund with Harlso, that really blew my mind, because I think it just showed like how engaged his audience can be, and yet so much support too from other like large accounts that like shared his post and stuff like that to try to give it a bit of traction. Like, and it just shows like how close the social media community can be at times too, because like I think like I would see some comments at times, you know, like comparing accounts, you know, almost like they're rivals. And really, you know, no one is, you know, everyone's just like trying to help each other out. And I think things like that really show that. But what's next for dog rates then? What's next?
So we've got, I mean, luckily amongst like in the middle of everything going on, like people still need art. Did you hear that? She's snoring. Luckily, this hasn't really affected our business much because like people still want the wholesome content that we can put out there. But we've got some cool partnerships coming up. Netflix on Friday, we think we're gonna do like a fun thing with them. And then in terms of just general dog rate stuff, finding ways to diversify. Like we know that right now we're kind of relying on Twitter mainly. Like Instagram has grown a lot because of stories. Like Twitter still doesn't have a comparison for stories. So that's why we have pretty much an Instagram audience at all. But we don't really want to rely on those platforms. So we're trying to build our own that we're kind of in more control of. And hopefully it can turn into a way where people can submit their dogs as well. Like the big problem for our account is so many people we get so many submissions, but we feature like 1% of, like way less than 1% of them. So we want to find a way that not to dilute it or like mass rate dogs, but like for a way to have it be more, inclusive in that process, to be more seamless, so that maybe everyone can help rate the dogs so that not all the pressure is on us. Like that's something that people really want to do. They want to play a role in what the actual rating is, which is again so cool because it's arbitrary, but people still, it means a lot to people.
See, I see that in your comments. I see people like, if you rate a dog,
No,
they're
this
all
is a 14.
arguing. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get a lot of like requests from people asking for a re-rate? I know there's someone who's just in the comments there that said that they were rated a 12 and they want a re-rate.
I haven't seen that comment, but yeah, I think people also understand that the account has evolved in a way, like that isn't really a common because again, I think we save ourselves because they're all better than perfect. Like maybe that's very justified if it was like in the first 20 posts of the account and they did receive like less than a 10, like then I'm very happy
no, they
revisit.
got more than a 10. They got a 12. They got a 12.
So I think that's fine, right?
That 12's good.
Yeah,
that 12 is great.
It's funny because like the 12 out of 10 has become it's become like the worst rating in a way. Like so now people but I'm like, take a step back. It's a 12 at like, what are you talking about? That's better than perfect still. But I think it would be really cool to give. She just punched me in the back of the head.
Yeah.
It would be really cool. Are you stretching? It would be really cool to give the audience, like to turn it upside down and give the audience the option to help rate the dogs, because again, it's arbitrary, but people want to be involved. So we're trying to build a platform that can do that. But unfortunately those things take time. So in the short term, it's kind of just still providing that wholesomeness, I guess, for dog rates. And with dog feelings, it's actually been fun to kind of talk about the world through a dog's perspective during this time, because no one's familiar with what's going on, but putting it through a dog lens adds some levity, which has been fun to create for that account. So yeah, short term, it's creating content that is still relatable and entertaining through a time like this, and long term it's trying to diversify so that I can kind of like make this last even longer. Like I'm shocked that it's been 4 years of We Rate Dogs. Like internet trends come and die really, really hard and fast. So to be around this long is really cool, but now we're just trying to like ride the wave even further.
Great. Well, Matt, I don't want to keep you too long because I promised everyone that these Instagram lives would be 15-20 minute type shows. So no, I could talk all day. Like I find what you do really interesting, and I just love it so much. So thanks for coming on, Matt.
Of course, yeah, anytime. It was nice to finally meet you and Harlso. I hope Zoey was not too boring.
Harlso was like, "Come on, Paul, time's up."
Well, that's great. Yeah, let me know if you want to do it again, and I'll definitely be tuning in to the others this week.
Great, Matt, and good luck with everything. And stay safe over there. Thanks.
You too. You too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Okay, guys. So yeah, that was Matt Nelson from We Rate Dogs. Yeah, thanks to Matt for coming on, doing the first show. Harlso's getting a little restless now. He doesn't like to sit still for too long. So yeah, I'll just let him down there. He spotted a treat on the floor, so that's what he's going to get. Tomorrow night we're going to be chatting with Crusoe, the celebrity dachshund, who's in Canada. We're really looking forward to chatting with him because yeah, we've followed him for a long time, obviously being dachshund lovers, and I know a lot of you guys follow him too. So he'll be a really interesting guest. It'll be at the same time as tonight. I'll set a reminder in the stories for anyone that wants a reminder. Hope you enjoyed it. Please, and I can see lots of the comments. Thank you guys. We really appreciate that. Please drop us a message if you've got any questions for Crusoe tomorrow night so we can include it. Thanks for the feedback, guys. It looks like people have enjoyed this. So yeah, catch you all again tomorrow night. And yeah, drop us a comment with any questions. Thanks, guys. Bye.